Maxwell Adam Mahama, a Ghanaian soldier and captain from the 5th Infantry Battalion unit of the Ghana Army, left his lovely wife and two handsome boys for national duty at Denchua Boase to crusade against illegal mining. On a fateful morning, on his way for his usual joggings, the youth in the community labeled him a thief and an armed robber. He was brutally beaten, stoned to death, and burnt by the same youth who were going to be the beneficiaries of his service. A 27 years old Afghan woman was beaten, her body thrown off the roof and run over with a car. The body was again set on fire and thrown into a river. She was alleged of burning the Quran. An old lady was accused of being a witch and was consequently lynched. A man was accused of stealing a CD and 50 pesos, which is not up to $1, and was beaten and burned to death. In my speech today, I will talk about lynching and infant justice. I will talk about how it has affected the lives of people and a plea to prevent it. Firstly, what is lynching? Lynching is a practice whereby a mob, usually several dozen of peoples, take the laws into their own hands in order to injure and kill a person accused of some wrongdoing. The alleged offense can range from a serious crime like theft or murder to a mere violation of local customs and sensibilities. The issue of the victim's guilt is usually secondary, since the mob serves as prosecutor, judge, jury, and executioner. Lynchings in the United States rose in number after the American Civil War in the late 1800s. Following the emancipation of slaves, lynching mostly targeted African American men and women in the South. Lynching enforced white supremacy and intimidated blacks by racial terrorism. How has lynching affected the lives of people in negative ways? The act does not only leave the victim dying in a very painful and cruel manner, it also affects the families of the victim. In the story of the captain who was lynched and left behind his two kids and wife, his kids were only about 4 years and 2 years old. These children would have to grow up without a father. When they grow up and get to know how their father died, they will have scars of their father's death in their hearts. They will be heartbroken. Children who witness these things learn to deal with the issue around them in cruel manners. They grow up to become burdens in the community. Families are left without providers. How can we prevent lynching? Joseph Smith said, men will be held accountable for the things which they have and not for the things which they have not. All the light and intelligence communicated to them from their beneficent creator, whether it is much or little, by the same day injustice will be judged, and they are required to yield obedience and improve upon that and that only which is given. For man is not to live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Heavenly Father has given us families. The family is the basic unit of the society. A family affects society by influencing how its members view other people within the society. And this ultimately determines how people socialize. The family is also the primary source of beliefs and principles for most members of the society of the society. If families fail to instill discipline in members, the society ultimately suffers since there will be many people who do not respect the rule of law and order. For these reasons, parents need to be more alert than ever. Parents need to nurture their children in the Lord's way. A message from the Quorum of the 12 Apostles states, it must be emphasized that as a father, you are always teaching. For good or ill, your family learns your ways, your beliefs, your heart, your ideas, your concerns. Your children may or may not choose to follow you, but the example you give is the greatest light you hold before your children. And you are accountable for that light. I am sure if those persons found in the mob were from a Christian-centered home, where mother and father are both fulfilling their responsibilities, they will have a good heart and would not be able to commit such barbaric acts. Parents need to educate their children in schools. Well-educated people will be able to know their rights and responsibilities. They will know what the law says. They wouldn't want to take the law into their own hands. Matt Walsh said, parenting is the easiest thing in the world to have an opinion about, but the hardest thing in the world to do. This is the time for parents to take up the challenge and study the scriptures with their children. Charity, they say, begins at home. Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. This means that if we let injustice happen, then this injustice will grow and start to affect good people. Parents, we can't afford to raise children who will contribute to injustice in our communities. The devil is finding many ways to influence the lives of the future generation. He only uses families. Heavenly Father has given us responsibilities. We can't afford to fail him. We just can't afford bringing up children who will affect lives negatively in the future, who will leave mothers without husbands, fathers without children, and children without parents. Gordon B. Hinckley said, you have not failed until you quit trying. Thomas Edmondson said, let us make of our homes sanctuaries of righteousness, places of prayer, and bodies and abodes of love, that we might merit the blessings that can come only from our Heavenly